told me, say, is she not? She said, no, that she doesn't think so. So I approached her. I said, I think I know you. Our husband taught us, I think, pharmacology in medical school. Yes. So her, somehow, she's part of our journey as well. All right. So thank you, Ma, for your presentation. As I sat there and she was talking, I thought we could all just go home now. I mean, it's a whole package. We could all just go home now. I don't think anybody can top what we've heard. So I'm going to package, put it on my left hand so I don't use it to eat, and then meditate on it daily, gradually. I can't wrap my head around everything that she has gone through. Again, thank you, ma'am. So today I'm going to be talking about the physical and mental parts of the things that affect a sent woman. We as women tend to be overloaded with roles, responsibilities, and then we often gaslighted into what we are supposed to be, how we're supposed to be standing, how we're not supposed to buckle under the pressure, and things like that. And in the end, I think some of us get lost in that, in all of that. So today I'm going to be laying emphasis on some of these things. And thankfully now there's a lot more information. Some of those things that we swept under the carpet, we were too afraid to talk about, they are now becoming topical issues that people are now beginning to talk about, even in public spaces. So, all right, so Bible says, above all, guard the affections of your heart, for they affect all that you are. Pay attention to the welfare of your innermost being, for from there flows the well springs of life. This is Proverbs 4:23 from the Passion Translation. And then for Message Translation for 1 Peter, it says, you are the ones chosen by God, chosen for the high calling of priestly work, chosen to be a holy people, God's instrument to do his work, to speak out for him, to tell others of the night and day difference he has made for you, from nothing to something, from rejected to accepted. I particularly like this translation. So who is the sent woman? She's the person who has been called and ordained by God for a purpose. And she's positioned for impact and not just for presence. Remember the story of Esther, who was chosen from a beauty contest to be a queen, a political position. And the only criteria was to be beautiful. She was just there for ornamental purpose. Even, I don't think they didn't take them seriously, obviously, because they fired one queen because she didn't come to do parade for men. So they didn't take them seriously at all. And nobody saw this coming. She saved the whole nation and sent we call him like the Speaker of the House or so. She sent him to the gallows. Nobody saw that coming. And many times, people don't see us coming. I have that particular experience. I don't look like much, and I get to be underestimated a lot. But it was an advantage, because when nobody expects much of you, they don't look at you. You just fly under the radar. You fall, you get up by yourself. You try something new, you get up by yourself. And then suddenly you emerge. You have something to say. A friend of mine, and I, and we have another friend, Chinwe. Three of us tend to roll together. Chinwe said something. She said, I don't know if I should say this, but pardon me if it doesn't land well. Where are the high flyers of our class then? The ones who seem to be important then? That the people whose names we hear now were the average students, the ones who did not have godfathers and quote-unquote. Because they were the ones who had the liberty to do what they needed to do. There was nobody putting pressure on them to be perfect all the time. Nobody telling them they were already good as they were. So we have more than just ornamental purpose. We have and we have impact to create. It has nothing to do with your socioeconomic status. It doesn't matter whether you're married or you're single. Many times we think you have purpose once you are married. Single women, what responsibilities does she have? What does she have to say? She doesn't know anything about anything, It has nothing to do with whether she's rich or she's not rich. I had to rewind that in my mind, because I thought, I'm coming for this presentation. I'm coming to talk to women who are educated, who are influencers. And it occurred to me, the woman I work in Ekwe, is a semi-rural, semi-urban area. The woman there, she's also a sent woman. It has nothing to do with how rich or how well educated, whether she went to Harvard or she dropped out of secondary school. It has nothing to do with that. There are people in her life, everyone in her life, she has a central role. Women have central roles in communities, MM will say the moment we go out, everybody doesn't know what to do again. Our husband is calling, our daughter is calling, our son is calling. Can't you people just find the things you need? Suddenly, nobody knows what to do again because mommy has walked out of the house. So we have central roles to play. Even at work, I observed, I'm a medical doctor, a larger volume and the proportion, more doctors are male. We're not having more women, more female doctors now. But amongst nurses, they are mostly women. And I observed that the nurses have better problem-solving skills than us doctors. Let them be able. They'll just call me and tell me, oh, Dr. Babatunde, there was this problem, I've done this, then I couldn't do this, so I'm calling you. But if it's my doctor, they just call me straight up, oh, there's this problem. What have you done? So I think it's from the training we get from home that we women have to sort things out. We carry that culture into everything that we do, even into the workplaces. So she's me, she's you, she's every woman. So this is what we look like. We are doing everything for everybody. All right, and we are literally the life source of everyone around us. Unfortunately, much more is taken out of us than is put back in. And this can impact our physical, emotional, and mental wellness. And then we can't get a break. Even in the Bible, there are many misinterpretations. I don't believe these interpretations are actually the way we say them now. Right from Genesis, it is not good for man to be alone. So women are created to accompany, to keep them company. Proverbs 14, a wise woman, this one that they used to gaslight us all the time. A wise woman builds a house. A foolish man is the one that tears down. As if she's the only one in that marriage. She's the only one in that home that is building or tearing down the house. Proverbs 31, everybody hates her. She knows how to do everything. So she makes us all look bad. Ephesians 5, submit to your husband. We all know that part. Older women, teach younger ones. You cannot speak in church. You must not speak in church. You can't have position. We just can't catch a break. And then this is what happens to us when we are loaded with so much responsibilities. Our battery runs out and then we burn out. So today we want to talk about guarding and safeguarding our mental health and our physical health. We just want to take it a bit. So your health is holy ground. Jesus said, the Bible says that our bodies are the temple of the Holy Spirit. You can only make impact here on earth when you are alive, when your body is still functioning. Once you die, you have no more purpose on earth. All those African magic where the ghost is flying up and down and they are the ones solving crime, it's ghosts that will tell police where they buried the dead or something like that. That doesn't happen in real life. Your purpose is only as long as you are living. So you need to protect this body so that your value can be felt, so that you don't lose that purpose. A living dog is better than a dead lion. But the sad reality is that we are so replaceable. I was shocked when I know someone whose wife died, and before that year ran out, there was another woman in their lives. And this is not just, all of us know these stories. And there are some of us here who've lost spouses, and years are counting. We're still finding it difficult to replace that man. But the other way around, somebody is walking out, another person is walking. There was one song, one hip-hop song that we used to sing when we were younger, and it goes, I'm not cooking breakfast for you this morning because I'm tired. And the guy says, if you don't cook me breakfast, your best friend will after you leave. That is the reality. The fact that it's in pop culture. You won't hear it the other way around. If a woman was to say that, social media will cancel her. But if a guy says it's okay, that's how it's done. So World Health Organization says health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. If I was to ask you, are you healthy? You probably say, oh, I don't have fever right now. Nowhere is hurting me, so I'm healthy. That's just one part of it. The absence of infirmity is just one part of it. The major part of it is that you are in a state of complete well-being, socially, physically, and emotionally. And there are 6 dimensions of women wellness. These are the 6 dimensions. Okay, it talks about physical activity. That's about movement, exercise. Not just in these days where we have social media, most of us tend to be sedentary. People work from home, so there's a lot more sedentary lifestyle. During the pandemic, I was working in a private hospital then, and in VI here, and I used to see children with obesity. And at that time, I started an obesity clinic in the private hospital, but COVID came, and that wrapped up. And after COVID, I kid you not, the children I saw just before then, I saw them again. They had gained tremendous weight because, we had been home for a long time. So the issue of obesity is a significant thing that is going on right now in this generation. Healthy food choices, adequate rest, we'll talk about that. Building resilience, learning to suffer well. The issue of suffering is you can't bargain it. You can't determine whether you're going to suffer or not. But you have to learn to suffer well, to cope, so that you can turn your pain into power. And then intellectual, Dr. Arabinrin talked about being creative. Those are the ways to remain well, to remain in good health, not just by hygiene. That's not just the only thing. And then having social connections, having, how do I put it now? Connections that are impactful. That's not the word I'm looking for. I hope I remember it before the convention ends. It's people in your life that are going forward, that you have the similar values with, not just surrounding yourself. They will talk to young people or single people now that just go out, just go out. If you stay in your house, you will not see husband. You will not see, it's always husband. Men are not looking for wives. It's always women that are looking for husband. Just go out, just go out. I say, you will get kidnapped. You will get raped. Just don't go any out. Know where you are going. Bible says you should guard your feet. You can't just be going out. Know where you are going. It's not just about, so you have to have sensible connections. Spiritual, I believe some of the other speakers will take that part. And then environmental, which actually talks about occupational as well. Okay, so what are these thieves and looters in the temple? We're talking about physical. So when Jesus chased out when he got to the temple and he saw people selling things, he said, this is my Father's house, that he will not have thieves and looters in it. So I'm going to take those thieves and looters as sickness that come invading our bodies. Now, before I got married, I was never admitted. In fact, I had a friend who said, oh, you are never sick. And then, when pregnancy and all those things came in, was a revolving door phenomenon. So, pregnancy and pregnancy-related causes impact women's lives significantly. They occupy, a large proportion of our illnesses and deaths come from pregnancy and pregnancy-related causes. In fact, if you punch in sicknesses in women in Google, it just brings out things about pregnancy, abortions, hemorrhage from having a baby, and things like that. As if hypertension and all those other things too don't affect women. But it's a tremendous, I'm sure some people are not thinking in their minds that, yes, thinking back, probably when you were single, you were not always that sick, or until you started having babies, that you started having issues to keep going into the hospital. And even for surgery, the surgical aspect, you will see things like breast problems, breast cancer, breast lump. We are more than just uterus and breast. There are other aspects of us. And then the other diseases that tend to affect us, infections, they are the most common, bacterial infections, especially for the part of the world where we live in. So infections still take a significant toll on us. And interestingly, HIV still accounts for a large proportion of infections that affect women. This tells us that we are still behind in owning our own reproductive choices. Because for women to still be having infections means that they are still sleeping with men who have these diseases, and you are still not being able to protect yourselves. Okay. Then cardiac and brain problems like hypertension, stroke, and heart attack. Hypertension is a silent killer. It's still a silent killer. If you are not checking your blood pressure, there is no way anybody is going to know. It is not on your face. It's not anywhere. By the time you are getting to know, you are most likely encroaching on a complication. So it is already damaging something. So the only way to know it is if you are routinely checking. And it can result in stroke. My mother is not that well educated. And she will say, somebody that they put something down for him and he stepped on it and the person cannot walk again. I will say, Mommy, she blood pressure any year. I don't know. Mommy, hypertension, low cost any year. Lord, check blood pressure. Anyone of a any year. And so the myths just go on like that. And then so you can have hypertension, you can have stroke, you can have heart attack. But all these things won't tell you anything until you may not feel the symptoms, or you may not be able to identify those symptoms, except you are checking routinely. Diabetes, obesity, and anemia are things that particularly plague women, especially for those in the childbearing age. Because it's as if once you start having children, that ability to control your weight just runs away from you. Just see food like this. You didn't eat it, though. You saw somebody carry food along, you've gained weight. You're just unable, someone just carry Coke along, you've gained weight. You're just unable to shed that weight, you're unable to maintain your weight. And anemia, interestingly, I had to present something for nutrition in children. And the data was just like, anemia in children, anemia in mothers, anemia in children, anemia in mothers. Why? We are the ones cooking for everybody except ourselves. We are feeding children, we are feeding husbands, and then we are not feeding ourselves because it must go around. The husband must eat well, the children must survive, and then what is left? You are the one that eats what is left. So women tend to have anemia from iron deficiency. And then cancer. Okay, and it's been linked, mental disorders have been linked to cancer. People, you have unforgiveness. Of course, you have unforgiveness if you have issues still rolling in your life. You have people offending you, and then you carry all this grudge and bitterness. It's actually been linked to cancer. A lot of mental and emotional things have been linked to brain pathologies that you will do MRI, and you will see differences in the brain from people who are exercising, people who are meditating, people who have unforgiveness, people who are bitter. You see actual anatomic changes in the brain from emotional things. So these things you really need to take seriously. You have just this one life. Don't let anybody kill you. And then road traffic accidents. But this is commoner in men because they are the ones on the road, they are the ones doing driving and all that. But that happens to women as well because we are the ones going to market, we are the ones doing business as well. That we may not have much control over. So what are the challenges with women's health? Now, I've talked about pregnancy causes and all that, but most of the areas of research are done by men. When you go to your clinic for antenatal, who are the people you see? Men. Your doctors are men. I talked about the breast complications. Most of the surgeons are men. They are the ones in the helm seats who are taking decisions for our health. Yet, they have never had a period in one life. They don't know what it is for your mind to be, as if everything is not going well. When you are having menstrual pain or you are just having PMS, your hormones are raging, your mood is swinging. They don't know anything about this. You are the one in contracting, having labor pain. They are there, but they don't know anything about it. They've never experienced this one pain in their lives. But yet, they are the ones writing books and making recommendations about this. It cannot be holistic. And on the issue of menopause, I am shocked to realize that there's practically no information on the issue of menopause. How do we prepare for it? I'm a medical doctor, and I'm just realizing that perimenopause started years ago. Maybe that was why I was forgetting things, and I was going for exam. And I failed the exam. And the year after, I went to meet my friend. I said, please, I'm forgetting things. I was thinking, am I having Alzheimer's or something? And it didn't take me seriously, but just talking about it kind of helps because the next time I went guarded. I packaged the information in my head. No, I'm not forgetting. Looking back now, it could have been perimenopause, but nobody prepares you for this. We talk about things like, okay, this week now is World Breastfeeding Week. How many of your workplaces have booths for women to go and breastfeed their babies? How many? And yet, we expect women to bear children, but we don't make these allowances for them. It's a little better now because now they've made, maternity leave a little longer now, but that's under the government. What about private? I had a discussion with someone yesterday that the only way it can work for private if the government will partner with the private. Okay, let the private pay the first 3 months of maternity leave, and the government will pay the remaining 3 months. If not, that woman will be back at work within 6 weeks. My sister was back at work within 6 weeks of delivering a baby. 6 weeks. And when we were doing residency, my friends who had babies during residency, I saw how they struggled. We were pediatricians, yet we, the pediatricians who were telling mothers, breastfeed for 6 months, breastfeed for 6 months, we're telling our own resident doctors, You have to buy baby food. You have to come back to work. I couldn't understand the hypocrisy. And these are the realities that we face. And nobody has answers for this yet. So what do you do? What can you do, meanwhile, at least until we start to? Because some of these things will get into legislation slowly, maybe not in the immediate. You need to educate yourself on common health safeguarding practices. TikTok, Twitter, WhatsApp, status, these are not places to get any sensible information. People just upload a lot of nonsense there. I think yesterday somebody put on social media somewhere, I can't remember where now, that she got married at 16, she had her babies from 18, she has 4 of them, now they are grown. The comment section did not disappoint me. Because everybody there said, do not propagate this kind of mindset. Did your own daughter get married at 16? Did your own daughter get pregnant at 18? This is child abuse. I said, there's hope. The comment section did not disappoint me. But, somebody who wants to propagate that kind of mindset will say, see that person now. She got pregnant at 18. Those are not places to get information when it comes to your health. Now, I'm talking about your health because your life is just as important as that of your husbands and that of your children. We need to eat healthy. There are 3 Fs. I always say fruit, fiber, and fluid. That's water. Now, water, not the Martina that's placed beside me there, not Coke, not yogurt drink, and then all these sugar-laden things that we drink with preservatives and co, they are not going to help us. They start a process of peroxidation in the body where the body releases some kinds of oxygen, not the 0.2, the 0.3, that damages your tissues. So, one day said something to me that, remember when we were in medical school, that we were the poor ones then. We didn't have money to buy drink with our food. Every time we went to the canteen, we just have to drink pure water. And 25 years later now, neither of us has hypertension or diabetes. Mentally, in my mind, I put down my bottle of Coke. In my mind, I was like, oh my God, in the last 10 years, I've been able to afford as many Coke as I can. How much of my lifespan have I reduced by being able to drink so much? The way she explained it made so much sense. I just mentally put Coke down in my mind that I better start drinking water now. So please, you need to be intentional about what you put in your body. Eating healthy is expensive. Watermelon now, one watermelon now is about 3,000 naira. I could never buy it for more than 500 naira. Aboki used to know me then. Alaro she used to call me. But now, you can't even price it. 3,000 naira. Even bottled water is expensive. But sickness can potentially, when Dr. Lumesi was talking about how illness took our savings away, I didn't know she was coming. Sickness can potentially result in bankruptcy. During medical student days, you see people selling lands. And when we had cases that we knew that it wasn't going to take us, I would tell them, please, don't sell land for this one. So potentially catastrophic effects, especially in this country where we don't have health insurance. Exercise. I need to run now. So exercise, just keep moving. It is recommended that at least 3 times a week for 30 minutes each, do some exercise. Please research on this some more. It is known that you actually have changes in your brain just by doing exercise. And it's also said that for those who have cancer, that those who exercise tend to survive longer than those who don't, because it's a debilitating condition. They just tend to become lethargic and all. But the one we're taking things like consent from husband, wrong. This one, nobody's talking to the husband in this matter. He has no say. Is it the woman they are talking to directly? It is your body, you're an adult. You have no say in this matter. It is the woman that gives that consent. So we need to unlearn these things. So you need to decide, how many children do I want to have? How many children can I have based on my risk? Not can we as a husband and wife have, can you as a woman have? Because an orphan is a child who has lost a mother. In public health, this is scientific fact. This is not sentimental fact again. If a child is paternally orphaned, we consider the one that is maternally orphaned to be actually orphaned. The one that is paternally orphaned, well, you are some orphaned, but you are still okay. You still have your mother alive. This is scientific public health fact I'm saying now. I've talked about checking your numbers, your BP, your sugar, your HIV status periodically. Don't just let life catch up with you. And if you're on medications, if you're on treatment for anything, please work with your healthcare provider so that you can ensure compliance. Because sometimes the drugs or the treatments may not be patient-centered, so you're finding it difficult to comply. So please, do find a healthcare provider that will listen to you. It's your life. So if you don't like this doctor, you don't like this nurse, change. Find someone that will listen to you and will help you to find treatments that you can be compliant with. So let's move to the sent woman's heart. That dull ache in your chest. You know how it is now, when something is bothering you, you've just broken up with your boyfriend and you're acting like big girl. I don't care, I don't send him, but you have that dull ache in your chest. All right, so let's talk about depression. I'm not a mental health expert, but I have, some experience. Depression, including postpartum depression. Again, pregnancy and pregnancy-related causes. I had a millennial friend who had a baby, and everything that could go wrong went wrong. Everything that could go wrong. And she keeps telling me she had one friend with her she said one day they carried the baby to her, breastfeed this child, and she shouted at everybody, leave, get out, I don't want to see anybody. That kind of situation, she could take that baby and throw that baby away. So every night they would take the baby from her and they will allow her sleep. Today she said, if not for that, I will have committed suicide. So the issue of depression is a topical issue. Anxiety, forget about these big letters. They are just different types of anxiety disorders. Intimate partner violence, sexual assault, and harassment. These are areas that we've put tape over our mouths. We rarely talk about it. But I'm very happy with Lagos State. Now, they have divisions, a whole unit under the Lagos State government that engages on sexual violence, whether intimate partner or child abuse or anything. So it's a whole big unit. So I'm really happy with Lagos State for that. During the last Me Too movement, I was shocked at how many people I knew who had at one time been sexually assaulted. Because people were not writing it. And I found myself telling people, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. As in, how have we become so vulnerable? So these are issues that we don't talk about. How are we training our boys? When did it become a norm that this is what men do to women? And then substance abuse. This part is totally mom. We don't say anything about this. But people do this just to be able to get ahead so that they can function. There are many people on even alcohol. Some people are dependent on it. Some people are dependent on some kinds of medications to be able to wake up, to be able to sleep, to be able to eat. This area, there's practically no information, especially on women, going on in our society. And they are very difficult to identify because we are strong women. We just keep changing our mask. What am I going to be today? I'm going to be tough. We wear that mask today. What am I going to be tomorrow? I'm going to be this. You wear that mask today. After a while, you yourself, you forget who you are supposed to be. And these are some of the reasons why we rarely have any information, because we have culture, we have norms, we believe women are supposed to look like this. So, and then we attribute some of these things to spiritual causes. Imagine somebody going psychotic. We'll say, it is demon. But it may just be a psychotic episode, and that person needs to see a psychiatrist and get help. I remember just after, I think youth service, they brought this woman from work. Our boss brought her from work. And she had a total psychotic episode. So they brought her in. Somebody had given her a sedative, so she was sleeping. And then her son, 21-year-old boy, came. And I said, oh, you can't handle this alone. Call your father. The boy said, my father will never come. this woman's psychotic episode had been going on for a while, so it had destroyed her marriage. He said, my father will never come. Anything that has to do with my mother, my father will. And I felt so bad. I said, all she needed to get was help. If she had gotten help earlier, it would have saved her marriage. At least saved some part of her life. Now our son, a 21-year-old boy, was saddled with this. I was so heartbroken, but unfortunately I was just a few years older than the boy myself. I was new in medical, so I didn't even know how to get any help for him. And then there's limited healthcare, especially mental health care, infrastructure, and information. If anybody has ever attempted getting psychotherapy, you know how much you pay. You can pay up to 30 to 50,000 naira per session. That has already removed a large number of people from accessing that kind of services. It is very expensive. The medications are also expensive. And then there's also stigma. A friend of mine is in the frontiers of mental health, and he does a lot of things. And there's this particular slogan he calls unashamed. So we keep saying it, unashamed. So trying to reduce stigma amongst people with mental health disorders. So what can you do to protect your mental health? Practice mindfulness. These are terminologies we are hearing now. You have to have awareness of yourself. There's something a friend of mine says. She says, are you thinking about what you are thinking about? Another friend of mine says, track your mind chatter. What the thoughts are just dropping into your mind. The first thing I said was, guarding your heart. The first scripture. The things that just keep dropping into your mind. You need to safeguard, you need to get them. So if you're the kind of person that you're allowing negative thoughts to keep dropping into your mind about yourself, about others, you need to track those thoughts and monitor, actively police the thoughts of your own mind. Have a sense of awareness. And in these days where our phones are always with us, we're always touching phone, we are so distracted. You have to be focused. You have to practice focusing on doing one thing at a time. I told them once, I said, I think I have ADHD. She said, get out. It's all of us. We are just distracted by many, many, many things. And she's right. We just can't do one thing, especially us women. We just can't do one thing at a time. So, and now we talk about journaling. As in, why? Why do you want to journal? What do you journal? You can write your responses to the things that happen to you. This way you can track your emotions. You can identify triggers. That is usually when I do this or do that. At work, I had this particular, I had this particular subordinate. Every time he's on duty, there's always one drama. And I realized I was always dragging me into the drama. Who will be shouting and cussing and fighting people. And now, again, mindfulness. I was like, it's only when this guy is on duty that I'm always getting into drama. No, I'm not doing this. So when he calls me, excuse me, ma, this on this one. Hey, yeah, sorry. Don't worry, I'll deal with it. I just put my phone down. That is it. So I just learned I just had to identify that. I was tracking triggers. And then this can also help you to regulate your emotions. This is something like what I just did in that situation. Oh dear. Okay, and then also helps with problem solving. All right, there are a lot more to this, but you just need to put your mind into exactly what you are doing. And then we talk about meditation. For us Christians, it's not new because we do Bible study and we do prayers. So it's not something that is new to us, but we need to be more intentional about it. Not just rushing through the day, praying in tongues as you are doing dishes. You're not going to hear anything that way. So you need to have that your quiet time, as we used to do it in the olden days. All right, and then practicing gratitude. Not just to God, to yourself, to other people around you. And then routines are a girl's best friend. Some of us are lazy like myself. I just want to wade into the day. But you just can't attack the day like that. You have to have your routines, your morning routines, your evening routines, so that you can plan your time. You need to safeguard your time. That's where you can develop your boundaries. And then not just have everybody dumping things on you that way. You need to prioritize inner healing before outer calling. Was talking about putting makeup on our faces and co. By the time you are focusing on your inner healing, it will shine out in how you eventually look. Look at that picture of the heart. It's torn, but somebody's attempting to stitch it together. All right. So which one do you want to be? Burdened or grounded. That first picture is us. But we are moving from doing that to becoming somebody who is grounded. All right, so this is my parting message to all. I wish above all that we manage our time. Okay, like I mentioned about routines. Not just, you don't need to do everything. Decide, have blocks of time that you want to use to do things for the day. Assign roles, delegate to other people. You don't have to be the only one doing everything. And then limit, for us women in church, limit the number of initiatives you are volunteering for in church. You are the one in ushering, you are the one in protocol, you are the one in all these things. Ushering protocol existed before you joined that church. Focus on quality. If it's one or two that you are in and you can give your best there, it's better than being in everything and not being able to do anything. And now we have AI. We have technology. It's making things better. It's like the it's like the IT of machines. So employ those things too if you have the knowledge. And if you don't, get information on those things. Train your children. The Bible says, train up your child in the way he should grow. It's not so that they can be your retirement benefit. It's so that they can learn to be adults. Because if you just wait and do everything for them, you helicopter parent them, they will become adults and then they'll have children mindsets. And that will be a problem for you. Train your husbands. One last story. I remember, everybody's laughing. I like that. I was, during my residency training, we lived in the hospital quarters. And I usually have electricity. I got home one day and there was no lights. And I said, put on the gen. Then it was the one that they drew, me. I like my stainless. I don't know how to draw. I said, put on gen. My husband was walking. I said, no, I'm not putting on any gen. I'm going out. Normally, me. I'll have just suffered in silence and gone to cook like that. I sat. I don't know what happened to me. I just sat and crossed my leg. I said, no gen, no dinner. If you don't put on the gen, I'm not cooking. He laughed and he went to put on the gen. I said, yay. I've been suffering myself since all these days. So please, let him treat you like a woman. Train him to treat you like a lady. And then set boundaries for other people. Determine how much you will do and how much you will, how far you will go. And don't you dare move that boundary. Recently, we have this class account where we invest. And I sent my money and someone said, oh, yeah, I admire your incentive, your, what's that word, the consistency. I said, what else will I do? I have a mom. She has a whole community of people who are always in need of something. Every month, Yalagbada needs something. Babalagbada needs something. I used to fight her before. Now, Mommy, it's only 25,000 that is left in my account. Who should I give? So I've put a boundary there, and I'm not shifting it. So this is my prayer, that for all of us who are called, all of us are called, that God will help us to proceed, to prioritize our healing before action, and that wholeness will be our testimony. And that God will teach us to guide our hearts, nourish our bodies, and trust this process, and make us women who are well in spirit, in truth as well. So I leave you with this song by Megan Woods. You can Google it. It's a very nice song. It says that the truth is we are God's children, we are beloved, and we make him proud. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Irene. Thank you so much, Dr. Busayo. I can't see her again, but how has this been for you so far?